Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, and it is the next installment of HoGaLe's. But you will see, sadly, there are only two of us this evening. I made a little bit of a boo-boo because Lena did tell me after last week's show she wouldn't be able to make this show because sadly she's attending her brother's memorial. She said out in the bush. So Australia is a huge place, so it could be anywhere. I can't remember the specific name. So she's at her brother's memorial today. She will be with us next week. And I literally posted up everything in my automatic way that I do, and I literally just conked out and I went to bed because I've only just got back from my adventures. So apologies for that. Lena will be back next week, but you will have a lovely two-hander tonight with Lady G and myself. So here we are, and we were just talking about Saturdays, and we were talking about travel and stuff like that, and trying to work out logistics because Lady G was telling me when she travels with the camper, it's a real gas guzzler, you said, isn't it? But when you travel with the car, the dogs bark at everything. So we're like, oh. If you could just explain a little bit about that before we start the show.
Yeah, I set up the Prius so that I can go because I get 40 miles to the gallon with that.
Yeah.
And I can set up the temperature for overnight and have warmth in there. But the van, you get 15 miles to the gallon if you're lucky. Yeah, so it's quite expensive. Now I can do the program and stuff from the van without a problem. You know, it's much easier, but in the car, it's a bit more difficult. So that's, you know, I'm kind of relegated to having to stay around this area because I have to be here to do the things Saturday, the collab.
I said we will have a little chat. A chin wag off camera. Do you know what? I've just had an idea though. Something just come into my mind. Maybe, you know, you might be able to get, this might sound crazy, but it's just dropped into my head. Starlink. You know, you can get your own Starlink, and once you've got your own Starlink thing, that's it. You're connected. You're connected wherever. So maybe that could be a solution. You'll have perfect internet.
Oh, yeah, but that's not the problem. The problem is that Mickey barks in the car, and I can't do the readings. That's why I'm here today, and I'm not out on the road out.
Oh no. Oh, we'll have to discuss because as you know, we're all kind of like free spirits here. You know, the three of us can barely stay in one place for 3 or 4 weeks without moving around somewhere between the three of us. Oh, we'll have to think of a solution. Yes, because like you said,
that's the difficulty. If I had money and I could fly around the world like you and Lena, that would be fabulous, but I don't have that kind of money. And I have the added adventure of having the puppies with me. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you said with the barking and stuff like that. But one thing I would say is this. Look, now that I'm back, I would say one thing I will say before we start the show. There is no substitute for your own bed. Yeah. And your own toilet. I had a fabulous time, but I'm glad to be back in my own bed and stuff like that. And I'll have to see what happens next year. Oh, and in regards to trips and adventures and stuff, next week, folks, this is when you'll be able to do the retreat stuff with me. For those of you that have signed up for that, that's going to be happening next week, and I will let you guys know. And of course, please don't forget to like and subscribe and click the bell notification. And don't forget as well, Lady G's details will be in the video description as well if you'd like to subscribe to her channel as well. Okay, would you like to begin the show, Lady G? We've got quite a few questions here.
Let's do it.
All right. So what do we have for you today, folks? We've got a combination of things. We have a royal question that has come in. We have an MTG question, so we'll be asking Shakespeare about her as well. We're also going to be talking about Iran, GOP, weather, and we've got 2 Trumpers for the end, 2 duck Laranges. And potentially, if we've got time, then we've got an 8th question, which will be about Argentina. So let's begin. Actually, I thought I'd start with the weather. Yeah, I'll start with the weather. And this question has come in from Manuela Orchard. So she said, hi, Hoagie and ladies. Of course, she didn't know Lena wouldn't be here this evening. There are so many heavy weather happenings in so many places that I wonder if all of this will calm down a bit in 2025. Thank you all for checking it out and wishing you a fab weekend. So let's look at the energies behind this according to the tarot, and then I'll speak from the astrological perspective, because I did warn about more weather events, but I want to see what you get and what my cards say. So I'll just read it again. Where are we? Number 1. There are so many heavy weather happenings in so many places that I wonder if all of this will calm down a bit in 2025. So let's see what I can say about that. And then I'll add my 6p worth from the Astrologia. One thing with travel and Lena, though, one thing I would say is that Lena says she just spends whatever spare penny she has on travel and adventure. And I think she told me she would boil up leather shoes and eat those if she could travel more. She's got the proper travel bug, that's for sure. All right, weather. Well, let's go on into 2025. What are the incidences behind that weather? And thank you for everyone joining us as well live in the chat, and happy Sunday to everyone for those of us that watch, for those of you that watch us on Sunday. Oh, wow. Okay, what do you have?
Well, the overview of everything is feeling on edge with everything. And I think it's going to be, again, a lot of water events are going to happen as well. At the center, not good. At the center of it, you know, the seeds, the harvest, people are not going to be happy with it. Going into it, we have the manipulation, the things because of the global warming. People are feeling tied up above it. We have the offering, what's being offered up, and unfortunately it's water events, and it's going to be havoc for people. With weather, you have snow, you have all the other things that happen with that. The challenge is where this is moving to, and this is my card for the action of the environment, etc. Okay, people are not listening, they're not taking it in. We have to come together, but again, we get a lot of water events next year.
Yeah, definitely. That's a big theme, and particularly when I discuss a little bit of the astrology. And I'll read my card first, and then I'll talk a little bit about the astrology and some of the themes that I predicted will be happening this year in this nodes cycle. So straight off the bat, in terms of the weather, look at that, get the 10 of Swords. So it's almost like people are feeling betrayed, sabotaged, ambushed by the weather. It's become so unstable. No one's really sure what's going on. And it's almost like for example, we've got lots of flooding here in the UK. This is what I've known. Luckily, while I was away, and we had a big storm that kind of blew through as well, and all that kind of stuff. You know, it also helps me with a little bit with the wizardy timing to, you know, avoid such events. But I would say is this, with a 10 of Swords, with these weather events, if it doesn't happen to you, it's just a story in the news, isn't it? But what if the weather event actually happens to you, and it's your house that blows down or gets flooded or earthquake's not weather, but do you know what I mean? This is how people feel when they are hit by a tornado or a storm surge or something like that. You know, they just don't feel like they can trust the world. If we look here in the obstacle position, I've got the 10 of Wands here. So of course this is about the heavy burden to carry, the difficulties, but of course it's being carried inefficiently. And what this says is that there doesn't seem to be a coordinated effort to kind of mitigate the worst effects of these weather events. And of course they literally one's house can be reduced to sticks, or you have to start all over again if everything floods. You know, just like everyone says, you know, if you flood, sometimes it can, well, at least in the UK, it can take up to 2 years to actually be able to return to the place. Or imagine if the whole thing burns down. So it becomes burdensome. It becomes a lot of work, not only for people, but I would say governments as well. All of this stuff, insurance, it has to all be paid out. And as we know, the insurance companies are not such a,
they're leaving Florida. They're leaving Florida, a lot of insurance companies, because of
Yeah, this is what I heard, because of the regularity of stuff. And this is sort of suggested by the next card here. So if we look, 7 of Swords, which can be seen as that card of trying to get away with something, or, you know, something like that. But I think in some ways, when you talk about the insurance companies like in Florida, I think this is some of them just getting out of Dodge. Yeah, this is about leaving the camp. And it does reach a point where if weather events become too regular, you know, you're uninsurable. I mean, we need to remember insurance is also a very, very old form of business, and they need to be able to make a return. So if you can imagine, if someone pays their premium and then you have to pay out everyone's premium to the tune of $200,000 or $300,000 a pop, then you're not going to be in business for very long. So I think this is like the insurance companies just like, we're going to get the hell out of here, you know. If they do that, then of course that leaves people battling their own position, their own resources, you know, probably having to come up with solutions themselves. I mean, if you're in a floodplain and your house is not on stilts, then of course it's very difficult. But what this suggests to me is that when the insurance companies get out, it's literally, I think people will be left to defend for themselves. Quite literally, I think they'll be left to defend for themselves. The outcome card here, though, is the smug merchant, wish fulfillment, satisfaction, stuff like that. But for who? I think it's, in order for this to kind of come about, there will have to be some changes that will have to be made. The trouble is with water events, it just makes everything that much more intense. You get stronger winds, you get stronger flooding, hurricanes, etc. So I'm not really sure who would be necessarily content with this, because obviously the insurance companies aren't making any money. But I think this is more about, you know, maybe if we do make those positive changes, sensible ones, realistic ones, then it might lead to more satisfactory outcomes. But I don't know. It's a tricky one. What I would add as well is that with weather events, Rahu and Ketu, Rahu is in Pisces, which is what? Water, water, water. Neptune is in sidereal Pisces as well, and he's the co-ruler. He moved in on the 22nd of February 2023. So that means what? Water, water, water. So we've been seeing flooding everywhere. And K2 is in sidereal Virgo, earth sign, and that can mean earthquakes. He moved in on the 29th of November 2023. And what did we have in, what is it, New Year's Day? Massive earthquake in Japan. And a plane exploded.
Yeah, I guess they just had tsunami as well from that. And people, I did reading on it, and people there are having PTSD now from these earthquakes. It's been over 100 earthquakes there now. And people are opting to stay in their car and sleep in their car in case it has another earthquake and they need to get out of there. So this is going to have long-ranging things in Japan, that area. Wow. It's just bad.
I can understand that. I mean, because you can, it's like, do you remember, like, it's like with this card, it's like it's like these big events, it's like it destroys people's faith in life.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, I mean, we're really fortunate in the UK. If we have a little rumble here and there, a chimney stack might fall down, and or someone's cat might go missing. Do you know what I mean? But in Japan,
Yeah.
I mean, these are major things, and like you said, the aftershocks. Imagine feeling like your house is literally going to drop on top of your head. So yes, it will cause PTSD. And I remember there was this incident in history in Portugal. There was a massive earthquake in the 1700s, and the king of Portugal at that time was so traumatized he could never live in a palace again. And that was just one. Anyway.
Yeah, that's what I got from the reading, that a lot of people are going to have a lot of PTSD from this. This is going to have long-ranging difficulties there for people.
Wow. We'll have to see. In terms of 2025, the nodes of the moon move out of Rahu and Pisces. I think it's in May 1st, 2025. So we've still got a ways to go yet, folks. Lots more weather events. More spirituality, though. More spirituality, but lots of weather. Are you ready for the next question, Lady?
No, nothing more on that.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so let's go to question number 2. Now, this is a royal question. This is Prince Andrew, and then we're going to start getting into some of the GOP-esque bits and bobs. Let me see what question number 3 is. Just yeah. All right, so this is a Prince Andrew question. So this question's coming from Angela Locke. So thank you, Angela, for your question. She often chucks in the odd royal saucy one. So she says here, there are rumors that Fergie and Prince Andrew, so Fergie is his ex-wife, and Prince Andrew will remarry. Will it happen? And she's also asked, will Andrew be made accountable and questioned by police and maybe sent for jail for his wrongdoings with Epstein? I would say on the latter one, probably not, because remember the Queen intervened and sort of like ended that. But let's see if Fergie and Prince Andrew will remarry. This is sort of like almost like a bit of celebrity prop. How about that? Will Fergie and Prince Andrew remarry? Take on a Trump question. Fun if we get like the marriage card, wouldn't it? Like 4 of Wands or 2 of Cups, stuff like that. Let's see. Fergie.
Yeah, it was one of the other royals that came up in the Epstein thing. Was it Fergie? It was one of the women.
could well be. I mean, they are very close friends, even though they're divorced. I think they are soulmates, those two. They've always been incredibly close. So Fergie, I remember Boris Johnson giving a speech about Fergie, and he was talking about women enterprising, and he had everyone on the edge of the seat of who the woman was. And then he was like, the Duchess of York, Fergie. And at that time, she was taking payments for audiences with Prince Andrew.
Oh, my goodness.
What do you have, Lady G?
Well, the overview of the whole thing is it's toxic, okay? They may be soulmates, but they are toxic. It's not a good thing. And so underneath of it all, they need to get some balance for things. She can have very strong opinions. Going into it, again, we have her holding on and to the energy, but something new they wanted to come in now. But of it, we have this other stuff coming in, and I think it has to do with the Epstein stuff that's going to maybe put an end to some things for them, some ends. The challenge is strong, the strength of this. The outcome is being out in the cold because things are going to be offered up rapidly. So I think that maybe some of the toxic things from Epstein will be enough to kind of, put a kibosh on some things for them.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so let me just, I'll give you a response here that came in, Lady G. So here we are. I think it's Glenna Miles says it was Fergie. So it looks like someone has kind of backed you up there. What else? Someone else has said here, Gilrain, marriage is a contract here in the States. If you don't marry and you have children and divorce, you go into family court and you get a lot less money for yourself and the kids. Okay, I guess that varies from state to state. Prince Andrew and the like will probably still have plenty of money, but we'll have to see. So what are the cards that I get? So here we are, 8 of Wands. So something moving. This is about speed, rapidity, movement. So there could be new information that comes out, you know, something like that. Either way, it's a very fluid and movable situation. Here in the obstacle position, we have got rearing up. We have the Knight of Wands. So normally this is what, one of the fastest cards in the deck, isn't it, Lady G? So, but we can consider this reversed. And this card, when it's reversed in particular, can deal with impulsiveness, not thinking things through, and kind of being immature and stuff like that. So it's kind of like, they may have speculated about it, they may have talked about it, but this in a way is also the opposite of speed. So I'm gonna say I doubt if they will remarry. One of the reasons for that could be just situations moving forward. You were talking about toxicity, but this is also a card of aggression as well. So there could just be more stuff that will just come out. I mean, I think if Prince Andrew was actually going to be jailed for stuff in regards to Epstein, I think it would have happened already. And I think it's another big can of worms as well, because imagine what Prince Andrew could drop. Imagine the juicy details Prince Andrew could drop about other very powerful and wealthy people. So in a way, kind of going back after Prince Andrew will actually open up an old can of worms, but we'll have to see. But I have a feeling past baggage, past aggression, this is not really a card very associated with marriage, is it? Let's be honest. I mean, it doesn't look romantic at all. You know?
A lot of mind spin with that card. The mind is just, you know, amped up.
Yeah, churning. Yeah, it's a very fast. I mean, I would say it's probably one of the fastest cards in the deck. All the hooves are off the ground, and it's quite aggressive as well. If we see here, there's an element of Wheel of Fortune here in regards to Prince Andrew and Fergie. Apparently, I think Fergie's got a new book out, because, you know, she's an author now. So she's got a new book out about an interesting duchess. So I get the sense, look, she's probably moved on with her life. You know, this says to me there's so much water under the bridge with this relationship. I think they stay friends, but really it's not conducive for marriage in this, seeing these two together. There might even be an element of even a loss of control. That's what that would suggest to me. But the outcome card, I think, is the clincher, which is what the Six of Swords, which is about moving on to smoother waters. So I think they will just stay friends as they have been for a long time. I'm not sure what can actually be achieved by them marrying, and they probably just want to move to smoother waters and not draw too much attention to themselves.
Somebody was just saying she has cancer. She's got breast cancer now.
Oh, bless you. Who's that?
I don't know who it was, but somebody in here was saying she has breast cancer now.
Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry to hear that. I can't see who in the chat that is, but I hope you're getting treatment. I hope you're getting treatment and that they've caught it early.
Fergie has breast cancer. Fergie.
No,
yes. Someone said Fergie has breast cancer now.
Oh, sorry. I thought because you said someone in the comments. Now I understand, right? Because I thought you meant someone in the comments said that they have breast cancer.
Is saying Fergie has breast cancer. Yeah.
I think she did, and she recovered. From what I'm aware, she did, and she recovered. She did have breast cancer, but she actually made a recovery, from what I understand, unless she's been re-diagnosed again, But from what I remember with that story, she recovered, and I think it may be a few years ago now, actually, unless she has a new diagnosis, if that person could maybe make it clear. But that's what I understand. She recovered.
People are saying she recovered, so that's good.
Yeah, she recovered. Brilliant. Gosh, that had me going for a minute there. So we've covered that. Now let's take a look. We've got a duck l'orange question. Yeah. Oh, it's almost impossible to avoid this person, isn't it? But here we go. So Baron Boabo. Sorry, Baron, if I've butchered your name. The question: while Donald J. Trump was in office, he received over $7.8 million from foreign countries, primarily from China, without having Congress consent. Will he be sanctioned for this, and will the IRS go after him for taxes for that? Ooh, my goodness.
Yeah, what does he keep projecting that Biden's on the take for China? It's always projection. It's always everything that he's doing. He's pointing the finger at somebody and saying they're doing it. So we should have known this long ago.
Indeed. They're going to have to change the diary entries underneath corruption and various different things, and just put see Donald J. Trump, or just put duck l'orange, and a duck l'orange could then become a byword for every kind of crime imaginable, to every kind of corruption. It's just ridiculous now, isn't it? But let's see. While Donald J. Trump was in office, he received over $7.8 million from foreign countries, primarily from China, without having Congress consent. Will he be sanctioned for this? And will the IRS go after him for taxes on that? So happy to see that over 1,000 of you have joined us live now. Thank you so much, everyone. And happy Sunday for those that are catching us on Sunday. Oh my goodness. Lady G, what do you have?
Well, what I have, the overview is the Knight of Pentacles. You know, he was lining his pockets for as long as he could, and they are going to be investigating it deeper now. At the center of it, sometimes this is my card for Biden, but I think this is like the DOJ and the House or Senate. They're going to be looking into it, because going into this is moving forward to this new information about it, the things that he was being offered and the choices he made. You know, he just walked away with this money. The challenge is, I think this has to do with what he got from China and these other people. Also, the outcome, he's not going to like the outcome. There will be a big movement. The message is about taking control, and there will be a lot of people in collaboration and assent with this. So I think this is going to go deeper, that he is, this is being talked about. I forget if it's the House or the Senate. I'm so bad at that. But they do have the goods on him. And so I think this is going to go forward to something much deeper for him.
Oh, very interesting. And before I read my cards, I'm just going to click on Connie B here, who says Epstein's chauffeur is spilling the beans. So it looks like there's
a lot to say.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very this next 18 months, guys. There's going to be a lot of revelations, lots of revelations. Rahu in Pisces. Pisces is about secrets. Many things, yes, spirituality, creativity, and stuff like that. But it can also deal with victims and secrets. So I think we're going to have lots of secrets coming out, revelation after revelation, basically, even more so than in 2023. I think 2024 going into 2025 is like the floodgates just open.
Yeah.
A lot of people are going to be confessing things as well and sharing their feelings because Pisces is an emotional sign. All right, so the cards that I have with the whole Trump thing. Look at this. First card that we get out, 3 of Cups. So Trump is like, woo, hey.
It's where I ended and it's where you begin.
Exactly. It's like it's the whole party thing. Trump was just like licking his lips, yeah, because he's always been a professional con man anyway. But obviously, being in the presidency, he was like, oh my God, I can actually make money from countries now. You know, so for him, it was like, woo-hoo, bring out the champagne. He was like, my grifting empire has just expanded by a factor of 10. Yeah. What was it all about? Look, the deals that he made, you know, he was just like, look at this stuff. I can get in with this person, that person, blah, blah, blah. Because here we've got the 2 of Cups here, which of course is all about, I forgot to say the first card, 3 of Cups. Technically, this cup appearing in the obstacle position, 2 of Cups. So why is it in the obstacle position? This is all the sweetheart deals he made with countries, Russia, China, blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, he sets up a sort of like a faux trade war to kind of make himself look like he's being tough on China, when really China and Russia are his paymasters. But here, look, we can see prearranged, you know, while he was in office, whispers and all of this kind of stuff from his true masters. If we look here, look who's in the middle, all the juggling. He was juggling all the money. He's like, oh, look at this, look at this. Literally, we can interpret this as money from what? Overseas. Quite literally.
Dancing for money.
Yeah, it's dancing. Like, I mean, Trump is like a dancing macaque. He's like a golden macaque, you know, that used to have those little red hats and they ding the little ding, 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 the little cling things. That's really his job, is to distract. That's why I say he's a weapon of mass distraction while all the other juicy stuff goes on. But he's the one dancing, yeah, with these influences coming from overseas. It's not the usual read of the 2 of Pentacles, but in this context, it makes sense, doesn't it? Because that's literally where he was getting his money from, dancing for the money. Of course, our old friend, 7 of Swords. This card is never far away, isn't it, when we talk about GOP money or duck l'orange. So, of course, he's trying to what? Get away with something as usual. His middle name should be Scandal. It should be Trump. It should be Donald Scandal Duck l'orange Trump. Anyway, never mind. But here he is. It's obvious. And of course, this is sometimes referred to as our Russia card as well. And he's wearing the little Russian hat. So we can see that there. However, the outcome for him, not looking so great, is it? He's got a lot of burden. He's got a lot of work. He's got a lot of sticks here to carry. So all of this stuff is just catching up with him. Do you know what I see in this context here? The 10 of Wands is a bonfire. Yeah. When it comes to Duck l'orange, he's got so many cases, hasn't he? So many cases he can barely.
Just can't even contain them all anymore. They just
overflowing. He's just overwhelmed. I mean, when the card is reversed, it can mean being overwhelmed as well. But anything to add to that, Lena?
No, but thank you for the donation.
Oh, did one come in? Oh, let me just click that up. Pardon. Let me have a look. Let's scroll down. Ah, there we are. Thank you. Urian. Oh my goodness. $99. Wow. My gosh. That's quite epic. I didn't even know that was possible. Thank you so much. All right. Are we ready for the next question?
Next.
All right. Here we go. All right. This is an MTG one. Yeah. We've not heard from this douchebag for a while, have we? That clown still going. All right, so this is coming from Ashley Song. Marjorie, they call her Marjorie Three Toes Greens. I don't know why 3 toes, but maybe she's lost a toe. I don't know. Marjorie Three Toes Greens Jan 6th event. Of course, today's January 6th,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yep.
God, what is it, 3 years now? 3 years. Wow. Jan 6th event got cancelled by the venue in Florida. What will she do now? Cry, whine, blame Biden? When do you think she'll get when do you think we'll get rid of her? Anytime soon? Please, thank you for making our Saturdays so special. So
yeah, she tried to con her way into this big event place and just say it was a book signing. Then they got wind that it was going to be a January 6th, party thing that she was going to, and so they axed her and said, no way.
I mean, she's not well. You've heard me say it before. She's not well.
No.
It doesn't absolve her for all of the ridiculousness that she does. It doesn't. But I genuinely feel that she really does have some kind of mental health issue going on, and she needs medicating. And I mean that in the most because mental health is a serious issue, and like I said, my mother suffered from schizophrenia and stuff like that, and let me tell you, I can smell them from a distance, and so that's made a big impact on my life. But genuinely, she's not well.
No.
It's just
so what are we reading on with this?
Let's read on, because they've threw in a few questions here. So it was like, what will she do now? Cry, whine. So let's say, what will she do now?
What will she do? Okay.
Honestly, leaky douchebag blowhard. That's my nickname for her. I remember when I first came up with that, people thought I was being harsh. Not anymore.
Yeah, no.
Because that's what she is. That's just what she is. That's her essence. I really feel that is her essence. Leaky douchebag blowhard. Okay, what will she do now? Oh, she's like a circus act, isn't she, on her own? She's got rabies. What will she do now? What will Marjorie Taylor Greene do now? Interesting cards. What do you have, Lady G? Mine are kind of...
Well, she's going to blame on Biden. Of course, everything's always Biden's fault. Okay. King of Cups. So it's going to be Biden's fault. She's going to come out with some sort of a strong man drama, QAnon nonsense that she's going to be trying to say that that's the truth of the situation, the light. Going into it, it's about what's being shared, what she tries to build, what's being offered, and underneath of it, okay, of course, from the crazies, QAnon crazy stuff, she'll have some sort of a deep state conspiracy drama. The challenge is the victory with her trying to hold on and get money and this and that. Her book's not selling, and of course, that's all Biden's fault too. But this is really not doing well. She's going down because there are even more secrets. And I think this secrets has to do with her QAnon craziness that's going around. So yeah, it's going to be deep state conspiracy. It's going to be Biden's fault. It's the QAnon, drama that they continue to put out there.
Yeah, she's rabid, just rabid. This is really interesting. In a 5-card spread, I've got 2 queens and a king. Quite interesting. So what is she going to do now? Look here, we get the Knight of Cups. So of course she's going to keep on with her spiel, with her message,
Yeah.
keep trying to seduce. Yeah, this can be the card of the offering, but it can also be seduction as well. This is the knight that whispers sweet nothings in your ear, and then you're left on your own and you've got a bun in the oven, basically. So she's going to keep going with her message, trying to seduce her base, blame everyone except herself. And maybe she just can't face that no one was interested in her book. I mean, I think she sold about 12 copies, bless her. I don't know what it was, but shows maybe she's not that popular after all. Anyway, if we look here, she's going to appeal to what? Her base. Her base. Look, this is all about stability. Yeah, the Queen of Pentacles is all about stability. But the Pentacles are also about values as well. So in a way, this is a card of stability, wanting to stick to one's base, but it's turned up in the obstacle position. So I think she's just going to keep with her sweet message of cray cray to her base, but maybe the base is starting to turn off. Maybe the base is a little bit less interested. However, regardless of what the base thinks, she is going to try and remain the center of attention. I am the sun, everybody. Haven't you seen my golden hair? Yeah.
Very interesting. I got the sun card and I got her holding the money and everything as well. Yeah. We got a lot of the same cards again.
Exactly. That's what she's going to do. She's going to try and look, she's in it for the fame. She's in it for the attention. Yeah. She doesn't believe half the stuff that she says anyway, even though she is a bit cray-cray. She's not so completely cray-cray that she can't understand when she's lying, but she knows that her base haven't maybe fully figured it out. So she's like, she's going to stay in it for the sunshine. She wants to be the center of attention, Here she is doing her wheeling dealings and all of this kind of stuff. The Queen of Wands is all about bringing people together. This is about like the salon, the party. And you're probably thinking, well, that sounds too sophisticated for Marjorie Taylor Greene. But she does what? She tries to bring together the base. She's one of the main fundraisers. So you can see here, she has become the center of attention for her fundraising ability and for her to be able to galvanize the base. But it looks like there might be a slight issue here in the outcome card. Look at that. We've got the King of Swords. So it could be maybe this election round, could it be that sanity might start creeping in? I think people are going to have to start using their judgment and realize that half the stuff she says, well, less than half the stuff she says, isn't true. So
yeah, it's just out there.
Yeah, she's total Fruit Loop. Total Fruit Loop. And anything to add to that?
Fegie Ozark for the donations.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. There's more here. Thank you. I've just seen. I'll have to click up. Thank you, Fegie, so much. You've got stuff. Oh, there's one here as well. Catherine, thank you so much for your donation. And who else? We've got Julianne Jones. Thank you so much. That's so kind of you, everyone. Thank you so much for all the support. How many do we have in the house right now? Oh, we've got 1,265. So that's wonderful.
That is.
All right.
Should we do a, our favorite bard?
Oh, of course. We've got, of course, what you think's Marjorie Taylor Greene. I did put in the notes there. I'll put here plus Shakespeare. All right, let's see what the bard
has to say about Marjorie today.
Yeah, let's see, because we've not done her for a while. What did he call her last time? I think he called her a bed presser, wasn't he?
Yes.
I think it was a bed presser. I mean, and some other stuff. All right, so Lady G, tell me where to stop and we'll see what the bard thinks about.
And stop.
All right. This is coming from the Taming of the Shrew. This is what the bard has to say about Marjorie Taylor Greene. You peasant swain, you whoreson, you malt horse drudge. Peasant swain. What's on this? What's this on another page? It says, When he is best, he is little worse than a man. So I'll substitute he for she. All right. When she is best, she is little worse than a man. And when she is worst, she is little better than a beast. Oh, from the Merchant of Venice.
Oh, oh, oh.
That kind of sums her up, really, doesn't it? That really
It
doesn't.
does.
Yeah. You peasant swain. That's the one. So I mean, literally, that's peasant pig. Yeah, I think that's about right. Let us know, folks, what you think about what the Bard had to say about MTG and that. I think that completely sums her up, to be honest. Completely sums her up. All right.
Can't beat the Bard.
You can't beat the Bard. Peasant swain. Oh my gosh. Are you ready for the next question?
Absolutely.
All right. Now we're going in our esoteric aeroplane and we're going to Iran. Interesting one. I didn't know about this. Total cold read for me. I actually had to do a quick bit of research on this story, so I'll just read it out. So this is coming from Nicola McClafferty. Thank you, Nicola, for your question. She said, IS, which is ISIS, have apparently claimed responsibility for the Iranian bomb blast at a cemetery. And I put here in a note, it was a procession for the anniversary of spy master Qasem Soleimani. Do you remember him? And he was assassinated by drone, via drone. You remember that USA strike? And that was in 2020. So they were doing a procession for him. Anyway, what reason would ISIS have for targeting Iran, where the regime there already is already very, Islamic restriction? And then she says, rest up. I hope the jet lag doesn't hit you too hard. Yes. Why have they attacked Iran? ISIS. I was surprised to learn that myself. Why have ISIS attacked Iran, of all places? Maybe they're not murdering enough people. I don't know. Just mind boggles. I don't even pretend to try and understand all the complexities of the Middle East. It's really mind blowing. What do you have, Lady G?
Let's see. I just got them put out here. It looks to do something with the Muslim faith, and they are having a disagreement with it, because the main thing here is the ideology and moving forward. They want to get to better waters. They want to get to a better place. And at the very center of it, of course, we have the religiosity, the card of religiosity. And, this is usually the one with the lid on it, but some emotional drama with it coming up. Going into it is the strength of a burden that they're carrying for them, and manipulating through the racing mind. Okay. So it's a big mental spin they've got going with this. And they're working on, the challenge is what they're working on, which is rapidly taking action, okay, with what they're given and being given. And again, they are with club in hand going forward. So it looks like it has to do with a religious thing that, they have so many different religious persuasions when it comes to Muslims, the Shia and the, I forget what the other one is, the other ones.
Sunni.
But, The Sunni, right. So I think it has something to do with that, different factions and things of looking at their religiosity. You know, same thing like we have the Christians, we have the evangelicals versus the really strict, you know, other ones, that they're always infighting as to who's right and who's wrong.
Very interesting. And I'm just going to click up on a comment, which is slightly different, but I think it's relevant for something that I just, a thing item I got recently. So Chuck Hepner says here, I don't know who he's responding to, but maybe someone in the chat. Incorrect. Radiation's level may be able to affect your sex drive, and it may be proven in the future that human sex drive is governed more by radiation types and levels than any other factor, even more so. Now, why is that interesting for me in particular? I'm wearing one of these. This isn't a plug for these people, but it's this little thing that you wear, and it helps you against the radiation from your computers, phones, and everything like that. And you know, I've been having issues with my sleep, and I must say, since I've been wearing it, it has helped my sleep quite a bit, because normally I'm super wired. I'll have to see how I sleep tonight, because obviously I've got the lights on and stuff, but there's something there. And I think in the future, we're going to learn much more about radiation as well from our devices, our phones, home internet. Remember, all this stuff is really still very new. So
I want to ask him, did he just have a thyroidectomy? I see he's wearing, that's what it looked like when I had my thyroidectomy. You have your bandage on here.
Well, maybe Chuck could let us know.
Yeah, maybe Chuck can let us know. We do have other, we did have more donations come in as well.
Oh, superb. And I'm going to read my cards as well. I have to scroll down. So who do we have here? Oh, here we are. Let me just click up there. Thank you, Judy. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jazzy Sophie. And yeah, and then we've got that there. Okay, so ISIS, why did they do this? Interesting cards. Oh, let me just click off on that. Sorry, let me just click off on. There we are. Just click off on that. So if we look here, justice. I'm literally going to interpret this literally. And it seems like ISIS were trying to get justice of some kind. When I was reading up on the story, and apparently Al-Salamat, the guy, what is his name? Let me just quote his name properly again. So Qasem Soleimani may have fought, I think he fought against ISIS during like the Iraq war and stuff like that. So maybe this attack was seen as some kind of literal justice, some kind of vindication over some spilt blood and stuff like that in the past. It could have been it obviously was an act of vengeance, but from their perspective, they were probably seeing it literally as an act of justice to rebalance the scales and old wounds, fights, etc. So that's the first card out. If we look here, the second card here is the victory card, but it's turned up in the obstacle position. So my feeling is this attack on Iran probably isn't going to do ISIS any favors. Yeah?
No.
Because people be like, aren't you supposed to be for jihad, defending the Muslim faith and stuff like that, but you're blowing up other Muslims? Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. I think it will backfire. It will be the opposite of the victory. And when this card is reversed, it can mean falling from a great height. Hubris. Yeah. So this is a very hubristic attack. And, you know, Iraq was quite a long time ago now, not to dismiss it, but it seems like to me they're trying to get some attention. Yeah. If we look here in the middle card, we have the High Priestess. So we know this card in its higher sense can deal with spirituality and stuff like that. So I think there are deeper simmering things around religiosity, as you were suggesting, Lady G. But this can also show hidden agendas, a predatory nature in some kind of way. So it's kind of like there's a lot more to the attack. It's to maybe shift opinion within Iran, or maybe build up some support in Iran. Maybe they're trying to make the government fall and destabilize the Ayatollah. We're not saying they're nice people. They are not. Yeah. But if you think of the wider context of this war, I feel like ISIS here have their agendas. I think they want a conflagration where the whole of the Middle East is like basically burning up. And I think they see it as an opportunity to kind of instigate their particular type of religiosity or agenda. Yeah. However, when we look here, they get the 7 of Cups. So they're delusional. Yeah. No one is falling for it. And I just think people are absolutely tired of war. I mean, there's quasi-proxy wars in Yemen. Russia's causing all sorts of havoc in Africa with these coups and all this kind of stuff. We've got the Israel-Gaza conflict, which has just turned everyone's stomach. They're delusional. They're delusional if this attack, if they think it's going to bring them support. It just isn't. People are just like, enough already, too much. But here we are. Are they done yet? No, they're not done yet, because here we are, the Queen of Cups, and as you would say, they've got their abomination of secrets in here. I mean, this literally, they say they literally used bombs. Yeah, apparently they were remotely remote control generated. But this says to me that they have got beef. They've got axe to grind. There's more motives here that are hidden, and they've got an agenda of vengeance, I would say, but it's being cloaked in justice, when really the true meaning is much more clandestine than that. So yeah, they're not up to any good. Anything to add to that, Lady G?
No.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Gosh, the time has gone so quickly. All right, so this is a GOP question here. So Flower Power says, will the Republicans decide to do away with the Electoral College now that Trump is getting removed from ballots in certain states? We all know that he's such a winner. Peace and love to you all. Good question, eh? Will the Republicans decide to do away with the Electoral College now that Trump is getting removed from ballots in certain states? I mean, I've always thought that the popular vote and the Electoral College vote should be combined, and, you know, that would have you winner. But what do I know? I'm just a Brit over here. It confuses the whole world, the system America has. It really does.
It's the worst.
You know, who gets the most votes wins. That's just, I always felt the popular vote should clarify the Electoral College. But anyway, never mind, I'll leave it there. Will the Republicans decide to do away with the Electoral College now that Trump is getting removed from ballots? We'll have to see if he stays removed, of course. As you can see, many in the judiciary are still trying to defend that ridiculousness. And isn't it the case the Supreme Court said they're going to report on the motion whether or not he's valid in February? Have you heard of this?
Yeah, they are, but yeah.
I think it's a whole pile.
They'll probably get to run, you know.
So obvious. Lady G, what cards do you have?
Well, I have the overview is about the White House and, you know, elections for presidency. At the center of it, it's the strength of what's going on and where this is moving to. Going into it, they're looking at those for sage advice and moving this forward. They brought this new idea in, but this is slow moving. You know, it's not the GOP. The last thing they'd want is to get rid of the electoral, because if it's popular vote, most assuredly he won't ever get it.
Ever.
So the challenge is what's being built, and the outcome is the whole of it, the world. Above it, we have, they're going to be looking at what are they going to do with it, the judgment, but that's not going to go anywhere at the moment. But I think that long term, they are going to make a change to the electoral college system, but not right now, and definitely not the GOP. That would be the last thing they'd want.
Yeah, then they won't be back in for 100 years, isn't it, if they did that? And Teresa Campbell said Trump was incoherent in Iowa this week. I've, as you heard me say, since he's gone into that Jupiter K2, I can't remember the date I gave, but literally he started to fall off a cliff after that point. I said he'll be held accountable. He'll be, you know, his speech, he'll be held up on his speech and stuff like that. And he has definitely declined rapidly. It's all just a hot mess. In my little rant on the side, this shouldn't even be a debate. There shouldn't even be a question of, oh, well, you know, you have these justices saying, well, maybe it doesn't quite apply to president. So you have justices trying to do the right thing, like in Colorado, and then they get struck down, or this gets appealed, or that gets appealed. He's an insurrectionist. The 14th Amendment is so clear. It's absolutely crystal clear. There's no interpretation for it, really. And we have this ridiculousness going on because you got some rabid people. But anyway, ran over. So will they change the electoral college? So what do we have here as the star card? This is the star card, which can represent, of course, America. But as you folks know, this is also one of my trump cards, which is what? The narcissist. So look at that. We start talking about that. And who shows up right on cue? Duck Larange. Always. Absolutely always. Now, what is so funny is this. Look at the next card. Now, remember the second card in my 5-card spread is the obstacle position. So this means like this card can be reversed. So in the this is the 6 of swords, which is about what? Moving to smoother waters. But they can't. They literally can't. Duck Larange just keeps hanging out there. There he is with his boobies out, saying, and his burger sauce, and they just can't seem to get away from this man. In the middle of the reading, look, we got Joe Biden. I really do think this is Joe Biden this time. The King of Cups. That's his that's their major obstacle. Because even though, you know, the polling, etc. and stuff like that, but he does seem to be winning on the economy and all of this stuff. For all the naysayers and all this stuff, you know, it's the good news keeps on coming out. So could it be that Biden, you know, holds up? Yeah, holds up. Certainly hope so. Biden's not perfect, but bloody hell, can you imagine if Trump gets in? It's just over. It's just over. It's the end if he gets in. Anyway, so someone's standing there with their sword of truth and stuff like that, but the pages are all about messages as well and stuff like that. Yeah. This can mean a spy in the camp, etc. But really, I think what this is how I see it. Biden might get sharper in his messaging. If he gets sharper in his messaging, some people saying he gave a good speech recently and stuff like that. I've been away, but this is key. He has to attack Trump with his own words. Yeah. He must attack Trump with his own words. The pages of speech, communication. And then when we look here, look, we've got the outcome card. Oh, look at that. Some female judges, the Queen of Swords, some female judges that are ready to slice and dice Duck Larange. So I think ultimately in the end, no, they don't want to change the electoral college because, of course, they wouldn't win otherwise. They can't separate themselves from Trump as much as they try. Biden is there, stubbornly in the middle, probably going to use his words, Trump's words against him, which would be the most intelligent thing to do. And then it looks like the female judges will slice and dice Duck Larange by the time they're finished with him. So that's my spin. Anything you want to add to that, Lady G, before we close?
No, I think that about says it all. You know, we do need to get rid of this electoral college. It's absolutely the worst.
Yeah. And it's very antiquated as well, isn't it? It's just, but I'm not American, so you know what, I'll take your try on that. Tribal woman, thank you as well for your donation. Yeah, we will have to see, but I feel like, for me personally, this whole charade has just gone on for far, far, far too long. He is nakedly guilty. People need to grow a backbone, throw the guy in jail, and let's all move on. Do you know what I mean? Because it's just farcical. Anyway, I will leave it there for now. So thank you everyone for joining us this evening. The hour has gone by so quickly. Thank you to all of you who donated. Thank you to all of you who've tuned in live with us. Happy Sunday as well to all of those watching, and for those that are interested in my retreats and stuff that I've been banging on about, they go live next week. And we just thank you for all of the support of the channel, much appreciated. And Lena will be back next week as well. It will be the power of 3 once more. But thank you so much for your comments and all of the support. And I think it was over 1,300 of you in the end. I forgot to check, but it was quite a lot of you. So thank you so much. And I guess we'll leave it there.
Yep. Until next week.
Until next week. All right. Bye-bye for now, folks. See you soon. Bye-bye.